có giờ cụ cho xia giờ chỉ mua có cụ yo chỉ bao nhau nó giờ Brandon và thì nữ bọn nhẹ ra đến này đau đớn khi chơi lỡ hai tiền chua chua ít bộ lên này mua cancer stage blow chua chậu chỉ lên yo chủ tua chỉ lên thì chia sẻ Brandon và giờ ít lên đợi chỉ lên đỡ nô nó Brandon và thì nữ bọn nhẹ yo lo vô tỷ khờ khi hai tiền Olivia Brandon và thiệt có yên tụ cam cancer thong đỡ nên yo nó nên chú GVP ít cho lũ chân chân khi cho của bác cử thế chấm blanc chỉ tăng đồng rong chua đã chỉ thế giờ vị lý cha bây giờ chủ chỉ cho nó chọn cái chỉ của cô nhé khó cơ bây giờ là cỡ có bao hạt tiền vị lý cha bây giờ chủ ô tô cá lan chê rong đồ lấy ô tô cá non chê.
So in June of 2019, my husband was diagnosed with nasopharyngeal carcinoma, a cancer in which is prominent in Asian males, is what I was told by the physician. And as a nurse, I knew nothing about this disease, this cancer, what this treatment entailed, the side effects of medications. This disease has changed my life, my family's life forever. The very first time when Brandon was hospitalized, the physician told me that his white counts, he had no white blood count. White blood counts, which helps your immune system. It fights off infection when you're sick. He walks in and he says he doesn't have any white count. And I literally called my dad and I cried. And my dad's like, what are you saying? Okay, cô chỉ hay tia, có hay đó chứ, cô chỉ nói có hay. Cô tia, lỡ hay tia vô cho trả đất ta là này à. Chị cô hay đi đâu chứ chị cô cứ sợ tông chị cô tự mua chị cô một quả sao. Tất nhiên从tới chị nữ tứ chị mắc bệnh là chị trong lên he's very sick because he had no white count. Chemotherapy and radiation started the first week in July. 2 weeks into Brandon's treatment, he started having mouth pains and had difficulty eating and swallowing. One night he had woken up and was in so much pain he cried. The only other time I've ever seen him cry like this was when his father had passed away. I remember calling the doctor who was on call that evening at 3 o'clock in the morning asking for a prescription for pain because what he was taking was not helping. And he was taking medications such as Tylenol with codeine and all these other medications, but he couldn't swallow it. So what I had to do was I had to crush those pills, I had to mix it with water, pull it up in a syringe, and he would squirt it down his throat. So I called the doctor and I said, I need something stronger. All this pain medication, even if it's not a pill, if it's in even if it was in a liquid form, it was not helping. I need a fentanyl patch. And I got a fentanyl patch for him. And that did help with his pain. Because he was unable to eat or drink, I convinced Dr. Munson, who is one of his radiation physicians, to try TPN because Brandon refused to have a peg to put in. And a peg tube is where they would put a tube through your stomach, and that's where he would get his nutrients. But he said no. He said he would rather suffer than have the peg tube. So I said, let's try TPN. Initially, the doctor said no because his port would get infected. But he said, you know what? I will trust you and I will to see how you do. And if his port gets infected, then we would have to stop the TPN. TPN is total parental nutrition, and that's where he got all of his nutrients through his port because he was not able to eat or drink anything. He was hospitalized each time, and after his second and third chemotherapy for neutropenic fevers. So caring for Brandon during the darkest days of not knowing the unknown was a challenge for me. This experience definitely made me realize how precious time is. That the time we have together can be so short. I realized that it's okay not to get mad easily. That it's okay if things don't go my way. That it's okay if the laundry isn't done and put away the way that I would have done it. and that it is okay if he comes home and cleans the kitchen sink in the middle of me prepping dinner. And by the way, that drives me crazy. So just so you know. Because there's so much more to life than to dwell on the smallest things in life. I felt I needed to be Brandon's voice. I needed to advocate for his care, his treatment. I needed to make sure that he was comfortable, because when patients say that they are in pain, they are in pain. I needed to put my nursing assessments in place and think about what I would do to help my patients. But even yet, sometimes I couldn't focus because he was just not a patient. This was my husband that I had to take care of. Someone who I married for over 25 years. I had to make sure what I asked for was what I felt Brandon could benefit from. And as caregivers, we must always remember to be our loved ones' advocate and fight for them. We stand today in front of our family and friends, and Kelly Clarkson said it best. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Ocho, thank you.
The good job, Kov Yeej. The good job, Ntawm. Nó có tụ mò kia sư lợi yên bông xia bông dữ ý cho chứ mùa data. Because the word cancer equates to death, mostly in my community. As we all know, a majority of our friends who have cancer don't live long, and that is the reality. Mỗi nu lấy ta kỳ của sợ lò, của lúc ban chê thì lì la. Cú yên chỉ nói luôn đó cú xa ban chế xa lâu liền á chế ta tỏ lúc xa hở nó lúc có ý lên tu chế tu nói lên nó thia chế cú muốn gì cú tu thân mỗi chế này hay tìa ô chế tên bà có tao có thua sư ấy biết sang cho chua nó cho con nó cú nói cho chua nó tao ý lô lì tờ chỉ rong lì thia cú bao này hay tìa ô giờ có tao có thua nó có phải do là lại thô quốc gia để cú mắc cancer là cú hai cho cú tụ bao nhiêu hai tia chop loa tụ con á mình nhiều con thầy rau mỏ có uang cây có thầy u nó có tuổi tan thọ ấy chứ cú tụ mình nhiều sự I have zero responsibility except go to treatment and breathe. Everything else was my wife's responsibility, so I can concentrate on beating this disease, and that is what it takes to beat this disease, or at least that's what it takes for us. And so my wife got off work. She was off work for 9 months. She took care of me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have zero responsibility. The chemotherapy was so brutal that 2 days into it, I was having a fever. I did not know that I had 0 white blood cells, which means that if I, at that time, was infected, more than likely I would die because I have no immunity. For me to fight cancer, it took her knowledge, her strength, and the doctors, of course, with the proper medications and the timing diagnosis, for me to have that 5% chance of defeating this cancer. And I did. I had to sit at 90 degrees. And even then, I could not sleep because it was dripping and dripping and dripping like a faucet. Blood and saliva, blood and saliva. Literally, I've gone through like multiple t-shirts and sweatshirts each night. In addition, every 20-30 minutes I had to get up and we have to purchase a machine that sucks blood and the saliva from my mouth. If you know a half gallon of milk, okay, we started empty and by next morning it's half full of saliva and blood. And every 30 minutes or so I have to wake up and do that. And so for literally almost 2 months, I had about 30 minutes of sleep And it's not even continuous 30 minutes. Like 5 minutes here, you wake up. 5 minutes there, you wake up. I cried. I curled up like a little baby in the middle of the night. And I literally cried because it was so painful. Cú cho cứ ti nhá cổ tế cú cho cô cho mùa cho ti lâu nhá đi nhá rể tôi xóa cú chít xóa nè lấy tôi lấy chỉ mua lúc chỉ hay tiền lấy tôi chơi lấy mua tụi món nó cho được cú lúc chế cả cú đi tụi món nó thế ta chỉ lấy tôi từ bốc khởi công lấy yêu khởi công cú mua cho bao nhiêu cho cái trái chia là cú như cả lấy thọ và chỉ cho cú mua cho nên cho gì là cú những cả lấy quần nắng sẽ cú giữ cú pli cú mua cho đá lâu cú mua cho này cho gì tới phía lúc những ta mà hút tốt đâu cú tới phía lúc những ta mà khi đó cú hay tiệt tú cú mua lúc đào lúc giờ đâu có nữa cú phía lúc những đâu có cho bố chua mà chọn đồng lòng ta tốt đâu cú tới xịt thiệt. And so the people who were close to me, the people who loves me, did everything in their knowledge and the power to save me. And I'm faced with a simple option, death or pain. It's no brainer. They love me so much. Of course, endure the pain because tomorrow will be better. And the day came when tomorrow was better for me. The day came when the drip, drip, drip all night became drier and drier. The PET scan was negative, meaning that after nearly 40 treatments of radiation and 3 sessions of chemotherapy, 2 months of perhaps 30 minutes of sleep per 24 hours, I can finally stop treatment. I can finally look forward to slowly getting better. That was a blessing.
Okay, na pe chia pa nia chỉ năng chia năng luôn năng lâu cho nungอยู่มอchỉมอแต่สิเดอะแคนเซอร์กูแค่เนี่ยนี่ย่ออยู่รู้เจ๋เหล่านะมาถกกันมอนะก็ตัวเชื่อล้อจะสันชัยเลยอย่าอยู่ตาใครอยู่คอไอ้อยู่บิลลี่ว่าจะกูเนี่ยจุรงซะนะอย่าอยู่ลินเตอร์นะจะอยู่จัดซิสเต็มนะอยู่รู้โตรู้ปลายรู้ลือรู้จือรู้จะอย่างนั้นอยู่ปลานะเราฟีลแต่ว่าเป็ดตัวนายจังคอเป็ดตัวนายสู้เหรอเป็ดตัวนายชิโตกิบับนะเจเรายังหมู่คู่จะแคนเซอร์จะยอดที่เหรอไปสนใจเนี่ยนะเป้ยังมันในตัวกับตัวซึ่งนะจะแคนเซอร์เนี่ยสเตย์ดาวน์ยอดที่อยู่เท่าแต่กูแค่เราเนี่ยทอก่อนนี่สมมติมองเลยอย่ามัวนุ่งตื่นเหล่านี้ฉันกูจะรู้อยู่ตัวข้างอยู่รู้ลือสารจะยงซื่อหลิวว่าเราเนี่ยกูมองกูรู้เปล่าเท่าเอาพาเป้นั่นก็ช่องละเลยกูจ่าลูกไฟกูเท่ากูปัญญายังหมู่ด็อกเตอร์ยังเขาเซนพอสิยังเลยเป้าเจ้าชีมา outside เลยรู้สิดีแต่กูยังตัวจ่าหมู่ใจจ้าเกกูป้อยแต่กูรู้เปล่ามอเกี่ยวแต่สิร้องชิเตาเลยที่มาจะอยู่จ่ารู้เปล่าแต่อยู่ตัวใหญ่ตอนนี้มีอย่างยังรู้ไฟตัวตาที่กูเราเนี่ยกูบอกป่าเป๊ะเจ้าหน้าที่จ่าลูกไฟมึงก็จอดเนี่ยรู้คลินิกงูนั่นมามึงกวดเสียแต่มึงจอดเจกูให้ด็อกเตอร์แต่กูรู้เปล่าเดียวละเดี๋ยวนี้กูเกินเลยจะชิเตานะหูตาชินอแอมเบลเจ้าหมูซื้อไปฉีดชัวร์ที่เจ้าหมูก็ตาชินอแต่กูมึงไปเปล่าเอาผ่าเป้น่าเจนี่ยังป้อยากูอีตัวนั้นมาพุ่งมายืนเดามากินมาจีนเดาแต่เขาได้เหรอจะหลังเดาเทียน่ารู้นะหมอหลังเดาจะได้หูอยู่เทียนะเจมันชาข้าซีชาเชียมาโตมาเปล่ามากระตุ้น full package กูเลยหายาหมออย่างนี้ฉันหงกูมาตาแต่ด็อกเตอร์ยังจะให้ลูกก็นั่งชื่อหน้ายังก็ย้อนชี้ส่งแกอยู่ไว้ลักกี้แต่สิกูไปเปล่าเราตอนนั้นกูย้อนนั่งกูช่องไปเปล่าเนี่ยมันกูจังฟิวเดียวI'm okay แต่นู้เราอย่างมอเทียแต่สิมา I'm gonna go on กูจังว่ากูจะมองกูรู้กูยันตะเลยเนาะกูแค่กูตัวข้างเทียแค่กูจะออกแกนสอจะเปยองเปฉีหมูนะเปสู้ตอหมูกูแค่เนี่ยเลยนะอยู่ตัวข้างอยู่เจ้าเลยจ่าอยู่ để chia để bảo cho lên đó điều khó là khó thế giờ cũng là rồi cho TV của cha mau đâu là chơi cái gì muốn nói chuyện cái gì nóจะ来不打这就照例是摆啊人家呢呢可能กู发了呢就กูที่เดียวกูตัวคือ Brandon แล้วนะกูไม่ชวนเนี่ยต่อเจ๊กูให้เราเนี่ยเดียว Brandon กูแค่ก็จะเดี๋ยวจะ prolong ก็อยู่ไลฟ์เดี๋ยวจะก็จะย้อนตรงเด่นที่ซึ่งกูชิปจะเนี่ยตัวการมองเราหล่อเลยเมน่าแต่ช่วยเราเนี่ยจะกูแค่ก็จะเดี๋ยวจะที่ป้าเตาก็ย้อนตรงเด่นมอแคนเซอร์จะนับว่าคือเนี่ยเท่าปักกือนะเนี่ยน่าจะปักกือเนี่ยสมมติจะกลัวปักกือปักเทจะกลัวปักกือในห้องเลยจะนึกว่าเห่าเดี๋ยวตู้เย็นเห่ายังเลยอย่าง number one cancer killer ก็แค่นี้อ่ะอย่างในเห่าปักกือเนี่ยนะปักกือเสมออย่างในหม้อละหนึ่งหม้อแต่ชิ้นหนึ่งชิ้นเสาเลยหนึ่งปืนเลยซื้อมาจ้ะยังในหมู่ไฮโดรยังในหมู่ตัวเนี่ยบ้องจีตันตังจะพยายามรีบนี่จะหลงนี่เป้าเลยเมื่อจะนั่นhậu lý thi cancer nhá lú chế là cũng khéo này na cancer nhá lú chế na nửa nhá hậu nửa chủ mua nửa trăm phút nửa mua rong mòn thì nhá tàu cha chỉ mua tua nửa cho phút thì giờ cho cái chi cũng nhá cái cho đu này cho cái chi này giờ nửa cho rong mòn cho vậy này chỉ nó cho này chỉ nó cho cái chi cho cũng nhá là nếu chỉ mất chính nó thì nếu chỉ là nếu chỉ mất ra đi thì nếu dùng cho nó nếu dùng cho nếu chỉ mất chỉ nó hiện toàn rồi thế nếu chỉ survive với yêu thế thì yêu chủ bao yêu chủ cả tàu nó này cũng khen này nó ít khó cũng pha cũng mất rồi này bây giờ cứ ti tu phong dư toàn đây là chỉ một cứ ti mò lại à yêu tu khăn mò lại cha lại yêu của cha luôn một xí trong là của tiêm một cha chậu lại nó hay là cụ thể xa chỗ trên ba mà để dễ ở nó cụ xa thì nó hay đó là gì mà cụ lúc mai still young so I will go on for another like 30-40 years
mấy cứ ti cá là món đồ gỡ mũ giòn nọ nè gỡ mình thiết cá nọ chỉ gỡ mũ gỡ trộn đồ gỡ tất cả lần thiết cá nọ tại gỡ tất cả lò thùng gỡ là cho tọt cái gỡ bông lúc khó nè thì gỡ tàu chỉ tàu là cái tại kỳ can đồ chỉ tan cho dây giòn lý à linh nê nó bây giờ nó cho cá nó tua thì tua bỏng cái gì nhưng bao thì nấy chỉ cơ tua chỉ muốn đi nữa nó chỉ là một chuyện ta là ta chỉ the next day rồi ta cá tua hoặc chả mấy đồ cá họ nhớ là ít sa thế này cho xe giết sa thì sẽ sa dehydrate cho tua gì lỡ thì dẫu chả có họ đi có chỉ tua lỡ hai luôn bộ cha là nửa sa đâu nửa tết đâu lỡ mấy giờ tôi chọn rồi thì nếu tôi tiêu lâu như là chế bây giờ mới hiểu thế bây giờ hỗ tôi tiêu lâu tôi chọn đấy tôi tiêu lâu thì tao này chỉ nó cũng cứ này tôi làm chế này tôi họ giờ tôi nó lú chế lú rồi tôi cứ để cái tôi chỉ tôi tôi chiên rồi giờ tôi cả làm chế thế nữa nó chỉ nó lú á bao chỉ là thì có tôi là bao chỉ nếu bèn chỉ ta kia nếu đi nó số nó chỉ tiền mà có application nó cũng riêng thì có những cái cứ bộ bao thì luôn thế nó có research 95% có stage 4 cancer yêu chuột tua,但是có những cái khá là dễ có thể chuột tua.
nhỏ hồng cú đan đủ cái yo cú cho xiang cái yo cú cho xiang
Many blessings to the two of you.